guarding man-to-man, but there were times I had to get him man-to-man. And your
favorite team that you guys love to face in your division?
Yours.
Yes, sir.
It's actually the games like we play against the Raiders, you might get 3 sacks. When they had Jamarcus Russell, which I did.
Mm-hmm.
So I got 3 sacks on them. I got 3 sacks on them in the first half, right?
Yeah.
And I'm ready, and they take Tommy Maddox.
All right, what is going on, everybody? Welcome to West War Room Rivals. I am your host, Cody. I've got my comrades here in the War Room with me. We're recording out of the JBW Solutions studios. Gents, how's it going? How's your guys' weekend?
Yep. It's been pretty good, honestly.
Yeah, it was a good weekend.
Of course, the Broncos guys would chime in right now.
Well, I mean, you did just ask how our weekend goes, so we're going to answer it. It wouldn't be very nice.
You want us to lie? Yeah, you want us to lie to you?
Yeah, I want you guys to sound a little bit miserable that you guys are, first place in the AFC. Yeah.
Oh, 10-2. Oh God, man, what am I ever going to survive?
Yeah. Where was this energy at week 8 when you guys were like, we're not going to the Super Bowl? I need that back.
Whoa. That was week 8.
Some teams have a future, Cody.
We have.
That's
true. The Raiders are in purgatory right now, and we're our own worst problem. So there's no one else to blame but ourselves. Caleb, you son of a! All right, you're new. I'll let it slide. Megan, good morning. I guess you just woke up. How's it going?
Good morning, Meg.
Awesome.
Dang.
Yeah. At least I got someone that feels sympathy for me around here.
Meg, I was saying, Meg, they wanted me to pick an upset between the Jets and the Falcons, and I was like, I was going to let you do that. I can't do that to you. So,
all right, guys. Well, as what we've been kind of talking about, we've got a full show. We've talked about it pretty much even on Sunday, our Sunday morning pregame show. We knew we were going to have a crazy Tuesday show to bring you guys tonight. So that's where we're at. So before we get started, we got a couple of sponsors we do need to shout out. Again, at the top of the show, we shouted out JBW Solutions, LLC. And then also Emporia State Federal Credit Union, Angie and the team, thank you. And Troy with Field Optics, thank you guys for your love and support to the War Room. All right, so if I'm reading my notes correctly here, we have an ice-breaking question for tonight's show. So, fellas, Shovix, I'm going to let you guys answer this one. What is your Christmas wish list for your team?
I just want a playoff win right now.
I want my father. I want a pass rush.
You want a pass rush? Matt, what would you like?
I'm sorry, I'm just taken back by Austin right now. I want a running back, man.
RJ Harvey, is it good enough for you?
Wow.
RJ Harvey doing it for you?
Not when he averages 2.4 yards a carry, but yeah, sure.
All right. Caleb?
Healthy remainder of the season. That's what I want.
And I want a fully functioning organization that knows how to make football decisions. That's what
We're talking about a Christmas wish list, not a miracle.
Yeah, dude.
Miracle at Allegiant Stadium? No, that movie's not playing nowadays.
I went straight to VHS.
Not even a DVD, just VHS.
Damn.
Yeah. Hey, it'd be like that. That was the last time we went to the Super Bowl. I think VHSs were still around. So
Meg wants a new head coach and a whole. Oh, okay. I should have put him on the hot seat list for later on. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
I did.
Well call. Good call, Meg.
Yeah.
Maybe next week they'll be on the crossfire depending on how they turn up. So, all right, I guess we should get into the meat and potatoes of the show. So the following segment here is the Chargers and Raiders recap. There's not a real recap to talk about. I mean, first half looked decent for the Raiders. Caleb, I'll give you a couple of minutes here shortly, but from my perspective of the Raiders, first half was probably the most excitement we've seen for about 6 weeks. And then we just
doo-doo.
You guys see how happy to score a touchdown?
He was so happy.
Yeah, the whole team. They were like, what is this?
It's like it was Kelly the whole time.
That's how low the bar was. We just needed a score in the first half. We're like, we're so back, boys. And then the second half started, and then it was not. It wasn't great. So a lot to unpack into the game. From my perspective as a Raiders fan, listen, I think Chip Kelly was a symptom of the problem, but I think the overall problem has got to be somewhere at the top to ownership, at least, because I don't know how we get to this point unless there's just an owner of ineptitude up there. And I was texting you guys about this, and I posted it on our social yesterday about if Pete Carroll should even keep his job. And I was trying to find any reason to say he should stick with the Raiders for the next season, but I kind of feel like that he's lost the locker room in a lot of the sense. Like week after week, the Raiders don't play hard, and I don't know what the solution is. We have Max Crosby pushing Justin Herbert, who, by the way, flopped. Let's just be honest. He flopped there. He wasn't that big of a push.
Oh,
but,
yeah. No, he did. Yeah.
But, we have Max Crosby acting out. We have defense fighting with each other. Devin White quitting on plays. So the only thing that I can think of is we need to hit a hard reset button. We're on a 10-year reset, and, we might as well stop doing this whole 1 year. We're going to get back on track. We just need to commit to the entire rebuild. So, Corey, I see you smirking over there, man. You need to knock it off over there.
You're talking about a hard 10-year reset. What have you guys been doing for the last 20?
It's like that Philadelphia 76ers.
Hoping it works.
It's like
tugging.
Yeah. It's like the Philadelphia 76ers where we were like sucking but not really committed to winning.
Family show.
Just some tugging.
So anyway, so that's from my perspective. So Caleb, what did you get from the game, and what was your perspective as the Chargers representative?
Yeah, I was a little disappointed in the way the Chargers played, at least to start the game. I wasn't really impressed with our play calling completely and how we handled Justin Herbert's situation. Obviously, he got hurt the first drive of the game, and then broke his hand and that kind of thing. But besides that, I was impressed with our run game. I thought our O-line blocked better than it had in weeks. I was actually impressed with that. I thought Jamari Sawyer, my X factor, by the way, I thought he did pretty good. Had a key block there on the Kamani Vidal touchdown run. But yeah, I hated the way it started. Loved the way they finished the game. I wish Herbert probably got pulled there personally. And then to touch on the Raiders side of things, if they do not give the ball to Brock Bowers the rest of the season, literally every time they throw the ball, they're doing him such an injustice. That dude is so good.
Yeah.
And that's hard for me to say, but he is so good. That catch was incredible. Obviously, he had 2 touchdowns and 4 catches. So, but then to touch on the Justin Herbert injury, man, so they said he broke a metacarpal bone. They think it's like one of the outside two, like one of these two. He had surgery today. They said it went well. They expect him to play Monday. He had like 2 screws and a plate put in, something like that. If it was up to me, I would probably not play him. I would probably roll with Trey Lance and see what we can do against the Eagles. But what do I know? We do get Amari Hampton back this week, most likely, barring any other thing that we saw last week. So, yeah, overall, I was impressed with how the game went. I didn't mean to ramble a little bit, but I was impressed with how we finished the game.
Do you feel a little bit more encouragement now that your team is 8-4? I think you guys have the number 1 wild card seed right now. And are you a little bit more confident now with down the stretch?
I'm a little more confident in our O-line. I'm not completely sold on our team right now. I think they're just too inconsistent at the moment to be fully invested in like, oh yeah, we're making the playoffs, because we've got a tough stretch. I mean, we play the Eagles, the Chiefs, Broncos again, the Texans, and the Cowboys. That's our remaining schedule. So that's a tough road.
Right.
So I think they just need to take it a game at a time.
Yeah.
But we'll see.
And then I'm going to get to the other guys on the war room here in just a second. I do want to point out, too, that last week Chip Kelly was fired. Greg Olson was the OC. play calling still wasn't that great. Was it improved? Sure, but not by much. And I think ultimately what we're seeing is this Raiders team will not be the same next season. It's the only pieces that are probably going to remain. And I'm not hyperbolic when I say this, but it's probably only going to be Genty and Bowers. I would not be surprised if the Raiders trade Max Crosby in the offseason. I feel like if anything, this game, this season, because I think the last time the Raiders only won 2 games, which I think was like 2010, 2011, I think. And that was when we got Jamarcus Russell in the first overall pick. That was many, many moons ago. But I have a feeling that, again, we'll probably have one of those type of seasons to where we're no longer going to be trying to piece together a manufactured, rebuild, I don't know what you say, like a rebrand where we're going to be semi-competitive. I think we're going full tilt, going to only rookie contracts, and that's it. I would not be surprised if Max Crosby is traded this offseason. I wouldn't be surprised if they let Tyrese Wilson walk. I just feel like the only people that are going to be left on the roster are going to be Genty and Bowers because of their rookie deals. So that's my opinion on that part of it. So Corey, what were your thoughts on the crazy game?
So I don't have many thoughts on how the game. I mean, it went kind of how we thought it would, right? Like it's to that point now where we kind of expect this. But I do think one of 2 things is going to happen. I don't think Pete's just going to be. I don't think he's going to get fired. I think it's going to be more of those mutual, hey, you retire, we'll call it a retirement, a mutual kind of separation instead of, well, Pete Carroll just got the axe, he gets fired. I think there's enough respect for Pete to say, hey, let's call it a day. Let's move on and see where we go from there. Then they can bring in the next head coach to fire. Basically, it's going to find your new ex-baby mama or something, however they want to call it. So I do think they have to trade Max Crosby this offseason. There's no way around it. But now you're going to have to hit on these draft picks. If you're going to end the cycle, hit these draft picks, do what you need to do, and just move on. Like, do right by Max. And I know Max wants to stay a Raider, and he'll be a Raider for life, right? He'll be a Raider for life. But it's one of those kind of like Matt. It goes back to like Von Miller, right? Like no one ever wanted to see Von traded. But at the end of the day, George Payton did right by Vaughn and gave him, did the right thing. And now the Broncos, of course, they got those draft picks. Yep. So, but Max is going to bring in more than what Vaughn was able to, obviously. So, yeah, man, burn it down and actually rebuild. Don't call it a half-ass, we're doing this, and just start the cycle over again.
Yeah. Austin, what are your thoughts?
The Raiders just aren't good. Plain and simple. I don't even know, firing a coach. At some point, you have to pick a coach and at least stick with him for a few years. I mean, Pete Carroll just made 9 draft picks that were fit him and what he thought he needs. A new coach can come in and basically just not like any of them, and then you're starting a new cycle. Then you're going to fire your coach after 1 year, and it just keeps going. So you either stick with Pete for a few years to see if you can build a competent roster before moving on. But at some point, whether it's you fire Pete and make another hire or stick with Pete, you got to give someone a chance to overhaul just a piss poor roster. That's about all I'll have on the Raiders. With the Chargers, I think more now than ever, you just have to, we say it each week, you have to protect Herbert. I don't care what it takes. I don't want to say we're lucky, or Chargers fans are lucky that it's only his non-throwing hand.
But they're lucky it's only his non-throwing hand.
Yeah. I don't want to say someone's lucky for an injury, though. That's why I was hesitant. You know what I mean? But we are lucky that it was something that he's going to play through, because he can. You'll probably have significantly less under center and all of that stuff. But I don't care if you have to help both tackles chip. Yeah. I don't care if you make everything a super quick passing it. You have to quit getting Herbert hit.
Yes.
Because next time it won't be just a throwing hand or a non-throwing hand. You're coming down the stretch, like you said, quality opponents remaining, most likely into the playoffs as somehow. You want as close to 100% of Herbert as possible. I know we've said it so far this season to keep him upright, but more now than ever, that should be that entire team's main focus.
Absolutely.
is to keep him up. That's really my only takeaway because, yeah, they started slow. They took care of the Raiders down the stretch and kind of made it a game like it was supposed to be. But, I mean, just moving forward, quit getting Herbert hit, whatever it takes.
Yeah. Matt, before I let you kind of end the segment, I do want to point out a little bit. I did see this on social media that Mike Tomlin is kind of now linked to the Raiders because Steelers supposedly are looking to go off on Mike Tomlin. I think we would need a coach that's going to have enough leash to have that long stretch that Mike Tomlin is to really know if it's done or not. And I think this game really cemented to me that Pete Carroll should not come back for another season. Cause I was actually thinking we probably should have him come back just so for continuity and for consistency, at least one more year, maybe 2 more years. But what's tough is every week now we see Raiders quitting on the field while games are playing. And if you're playing hard for a coach that you like, then I don't see you quitting on the field, even in the midst of a blowout or a loss to a divisional opponent. So I think that's why for me also Pete Carroll, I'm sure is a great coach in his heyday. And I don't know, maybe it's the Raiders organization that let him down and not let him flourish, or maybe Pete is past his prime, whatever the case, but the combination is not working. I do know though, as a Raiders fan, the pattern I see now is it's the Raiders cycling through all these coaches. And when these coaches move on, they seem to do not as bad as when they were on the Raiders, which is interesting. So I think that kind of dives into there's some deeper roots that need to come up, and it's not just a surface level fix. So Matt, why don't you close out the segment and tell us what your thoughts are in the game and both teams?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I don't really have much thoughts on the game. Like Corey said, it kind of went how we all thought it was going to go. But I had said it in the beginning of the year, as far as the Raiders go, they need a whole front, coaching staff that the team can just get behind. And you had that with, Rich Bisaccia a couple of years ago after Gruden was fired, and you had that with him, which is surprising because he was a special teams coach. Who's going to get behind your special? But he got them to, I think, that was their last playoff appearance, I think.
Right.
And then after that, you've just kind of been, spiraling downhill, missed playoff opportunities. So you haven't really had someone in that office that the rest of your coaching staff and your players are getting behind. And I thought that was going to happen with Pete Carroll, and maybe that relationship was lost somewhere along the way because you had Chip Kelly, and again, he just was not a good fit. I don't know who in their, what world they were living in when they said Chip Kelly's our guy. And it was the same question I asked when they hired Pat Shurmur in Denver. What about this man's career said this is a good fit for us? So again, I think, like Corey said, you trade Max Crosby, you trade what you can, get some draft picks, build from the ground up, find someone maybe. I don't think Mike Tomlin would be the guy either. I don't know if they would be able to get behind him, but you got to find someone that this team is yeah, this is our guy. I like his philosophies. The players just are drawn to him because you need that. And it's going to start there.
Yeah.
As far as the Chargers go, yeah, man, Herbert's just getting hurt. And that was my biggest concern going into the season. Can he stay healthy? He's already been hit quite a few times, having surgery. And at this point, he's going to be like the villain from that first Hellboy movie. The only thing holding him together is a damn spindle. So, I mean, again, you got to fix that. It's great that the team is doing well. They're running the ball really well. Kamani Vidal had picked up the workload after Hampton got hurt, and Najee Harris is out for the season. And he's done a phenomenal job. So they're running the ball well, but fix the other issue. Your quarterback, again, he's just falling apart. He's held together by Gorilla Glue. Do something.
Yeah. All right, let's move on to the next AFC West game, which was the Broncos and Commanders on Sunday Night Football. This went into overtime, and Matt put out a video on Sunday that it made him have to go visit his cardiologist. So Matt, I'm going to kind of kick it back over to you. Did you get a clean bill of health on Monday?
The heart is doing okay. Everyone's asking me how's the ticker doing? It's still going. We're still good. It's pumping. But I expected a tough fight because, no team is just going to roll over and let you come into their house and just, willingly let you have your way with them. But this
Austin, you watch yourself right now.
I know I'm trying to be nice. We already shattered his team. All right. But this was a team like the defense was not that great. You know, the Commanders defense going into this game, I think they were ranked 31st going into this game. So this was in our pregame show. This is your opportunity to take those shots downfield, get your run game established. I expected Harvey to bounce back from that Chiefs game where he only had 30 yards. Well, he got 4 more yards than he did the last time, and he got 2 touchdowns. So, I mean, I'm going to give him his flowers because he scored a touchdown in regular time, and then he went and scored the go-ahead or the game-winning touchdown in overtime as well. But as far as Bo Nix, I thought he did very well. I thought he played well. Yeah, in the second half, he was a little shaky here and there, especially that pick to Bobby Wagner. Don't know how you don't see a guy that size wide open in the middle of the field and you hit him dead center. It wasn't even like he just, put it up and Bobby jumped him and it hit him dead center in the chest. So it's like, what happened here, buddy? But the drive in overtime, beautifully put together, smart plays, good decisions, getting Ingram involved. And he was the catalyst that set up that touchdown for Harvey. But I thought Bo did pretty well. The defense was very surprising here. I think, Corey, you pointed it out on your X that you noticed Mariota was getting, or Mariota, as Collinsworth is saying, getting those quick releases off. And so what happened was Denver noticed it, so they backed off the pressure, and then they started running the ball more. Like Lake Lewis, if you guys saw that episode, Lake Lewis knew they were going to do, and it just tore Denver up. They had no answer for it, and I'm hoping that this is a once-in-a-lifetime thing because this is probably about as bad as the defense played that they did in Week 2 against Indy. Mm-hmm. And I was not expecting this performance. Now, I'm not sleeping on Mariota. I think I think we all agree he's probably the best backup QB in the league today, but that's not the performance I expected from a team that was performing as well as this defense has against a team that has been kind of rocky all season and riddled with injuries. So just not what I was expecting.
Corey, your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, we won. We're still finding ways to win. When we need it the most, those guys are making plays. Yes, I get it. At some point, you want to see that just really, really good win, the blowout, right? It's like kind of what we did against the Cowboys, but that's just not how it is. It's not how it's going to be. The game this weekend is going to be another close one, even though it's the Raiders, right? Like that's just how these games are going to go. It's December. We kept talking in November about December, January. This is when the real teams are going to start separating themselves. You've already seen Denver and New England kind of do that in the AFC, right? So again, I'm kind of banking it looking at it as they came off a bye week, just like Washington. Washington came off a bye week too, so they had just as much time to prepare. So I think a lot of that had to do with game plan. So they were able to take that extra week and really dive into stuff and show them Denver was getting looks that they hadn't probably seen on the tape. So yeah, look, I'm not as concerned. I don't have as big of concern as some Bronco fans that were kind of having meltdowns on X. Look, you're 10-2. You have the Raiders. Don't sleep on the Raiders. But just know that this stretch that's coming up, you got to stay ground, right? You got to keep track with New England because they're not slowing down at all. If you just watched the game last night, Drake May maybe pulling ahead of Matt Stafford in the old MVP race after last night. So, stand your ground, win these games that you have to win, starting with the Raiders this week, and then we can go on to the Packers next week.
Austin, do you have any thoughts on the Broncos?
Yeah, I mean, they found a way to win. I know, last year when Chiefs were doing it, everyone was also concerned and saying it wouldn't last forever, and it came to an end in the Super Bowl. But the important thing is you just win games, find a way to win. Your defense is going to slip up sometimes, and the offense carried a little bit. That's why you have 3 phases of the football game. Denver's gotten a lot better. Special teams with Mims coming back, big get. So that's huge. But no, when defenses like that struggle, that are as good as Broncos, the next opponent, unfortunately, or fortunately, I guess for them, maybe it's the Raiders. It's going to be a bounce back game. I said it when they played the Colts. Defenses like that bounce back. That's just what they do. Offensively, I still don't know what to expect from Denver. I still feel like there's inconsistencies for me to be able to be like,
Yeah.
I'm comfortable with their offense getting 3 or 4 touchdowns a game or something. As far as this game goes, they did enough to win, and honestly, that's all that matters. Win this game, get ready for the next week. As far as the Commanders go, it is a team for the most part that was in an NFC Championship game last year. It's still an okay team. Dan Quinn's taken over defensive play calling. That's why I think the defense has gotten a little better the last couple of weeks. A lot of people did think it was going to be a runaway game for Denver, but it's kind of crazy to think that from a team like the Commanders who, yes, it's been a rough year. A lot of that's, quarterback injuries and receiver injuries, defensive injury, just injuries across the board. Caleb, we're talking about here. Mm-hmm. Injuries are the name of your game, but they're still an okay team. They're not going to just lay down like we said the Raiders have started to do. They still have fight. They still have some pride. So Denver got the win. That's all that matters. On to next week.
Yeah. Caleb, your thoughts to close out the segment.
Yeah, I actually don't have much to say. You all kind of touched on most everything. I do have to say Washington is way better than their record shows, and I've said that all year. They are not a 3-9 team, and I think Lake Lewis even talked about the locker room doesn't even view themselves that way either. But I was regardless, Denver will they were bound to have at least one not great game defensively, and good thing it was this game. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. They found a way to win. That's all that matters. And then I think they'll have a good bounce back week this coming week. But yeah, I don't have much to say about this one really.
Yeah. I think the only thing I'm going to say about the Broncos is it's a good thing that they're finding ways to win. This is one of the few games that they didn't fall behind. They kind of led for most of it. It just kind of crept into a tie at the end of the game, of course, which led to the overtime. But, I think as the season goes on, now that we're in December, we're playing meaningful football. Hopefully the Broncos are able to, not lose that, late game magic, so to speak, when it comes to they don't have the lead, they're behind and now they need to come up with some, come from behind antics to win this game. Hopefully that they don't fall too much into that, because my fear is when they get into the playoffs, and maybe this is where they're shooting for the first round bye. So when you get into that divisional game, whoever your opponent is, hopefully it is not, someone where you can't give them a lead and expect them to give it up, because postseason, the best teams somewhat are there, and they would have a tough matchup in the second round, whoever that may be. But I will say the Commanders, though, they did stick to the run game, which they had 150 yards of rushing. Uncharacteristic, for the defense of the Broncos. But again, as we're saying, off nights, that offense still was able to carry, and, Bo Nix was able to have some late game magic. So, and I'm very much the Raiders are a get back on track game. They're not going to be a tough opponent. As much as we're trying to be kind and say, no, it's a divisional matchup. No, it's got to be first quarter. The Raiders are going to give you their best shot. You outlast that 2 through 4. It's going to be smooth sailing. So that's how the game is going to go.
As long as it's better than 10-7.
It's going to be 70-10 is probably what it'll end up being.
Oh,
so,
God.
Yeah. It's not going to be great.
He's gone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not our season, boys. Who would have thought it? All right, let's move on to our next segment, Austin's aerial attack. Austin, who was the best defense of week 13?
There's some good options this week. Obviously the Seahawks picking off the Vikings 32nd string quarterback 12 times would probably win it most weeks. But I got to go with the Panthers.
Oh yeah,
I know they still give up a decent amount of points, but they forced some turnovers and scored some points themselves against the Rams. Who knows what we're getting week to week with the Panthers? It's still up in the air, but that defense, there are some pieces there. And again, I know their final stat line, the Rams still put up offensive numbers, but Matt Stafford hadn't had turnovers in 9,000 years. They got a couple of them against him. They made some stops when they needed to make some stops. Honestly, all in all, the whole Panthers team could probably get an award, but we're sticking to defense. So, but their defense, Derek Brown, probably one of the most underappreciated, not just D tackles, but just defensive players in the league in general. So maybe with them doing well here down the stretch, he'll get some love. But that defense is young and they fly around and they're opportunistic. Again, they can give up a 40 burger next week. Who knows? Mm-hmm. But as far as this week goes, they're a huge reason why they pulled off that upset against the Rams.
That's a really good pick. I'm actually curious, Corey, do you think that this shows more about the Carolinas defense or the Rams just had a bad game?
I think it's more just the Rams were kind of off. And it's when you think about it, that they still put up 28 points. So it's not like they were off. It was just more like uncharacteristic things. And you do have to give the Panthers credit because they did come in with a good game plan. And we saw the defense even, the week before against the Niners when they were able to get the 3 interceptions and their offense wasn't able to kind of back them up on that. So again, I still think this is more indicative of what just an off day for the Rams. I do expect a good bounce back from the Rams, and you got to think cross country travel, not making excuses for them, but this isn't going to sit here and say, I don't think the Rams are a Super Bowl team because they still in fact are.
Yeah. Matt, do you think this took a hit on Matt Stafford's MVP candidacy?
I don't think so. I mean, you still look at his touchdown to interception ratio, and it's still impressive. And I'm kind of with Austin on this one, especially like if you look at that secondary, they have 5 interceptions and a touchdown in their last 2 games. So I mean, they're high flying, and this was Corey and mine's sleeper team going into the season. So. Does it take a hit on Matt Stafford, though? No, I don't think so. Again, you can't expect a weak play for 17 straight weeks. You're going to have an off day. You're going to have a bad game. So I think it was a little bit of both. I think it was an off day for the Rams, and it was just motivation for the Panthers, knowing like, hey, we're in the playoff. We're in playoff talks right now. How long has it been? It's been just like 10 years for the Broncos. It's been like 10 years for the Panthers too. So like, this is huge for them. So I think it was just a little bit of both.
And there's just one Bucks mess up away from catapulting themselves, right? Yeah. It's kind of like the AFC North right now, and but we can talk about that later. Sorry for interrupting you, Caleb.
Caleb, do you think the Panthers could win the NFC South, or do you think the Buccaneers are going to tighten things up?
I think they can. As weird as that sounds, I know it depends on Baker. Really, I think if Baker's able to play, I know he's kind of got a banged up shoulder, that kind of thing. I think it's down to those 2 teams right now, and the Panthers are starting to click. Their defense looks great. I've been impressed with them. I know they gave up 28 points, but it was the Rams. It's not like it's not like it was some really bad team. But overall, I'm yeah. Sorry, Cody, but
it's all right. It's just one of those nights.
He's just accepting it at this point.
Yeah.
No, but I think the Panthers definitely can win this division, and I'm probably a bigger Bryce Young fan than most people. I think he's really talented. I think he's kind of been not dealt the best hand completely his first couple of years. So I think they have a great shot at winning the division. Absolutely.
Yeah, they're currently tied right now second, but I mean, literally Buccaneers would lose one more game and they continue to win. They're going to be sole owners of first place. That'll be a wild start, or at least a wild point in the season, because I did not think the Panthers would be even that relevant. So, but we'll see. All right, Caleb, it's your turn. It's your segment for Crossfire. Did you say something, Corey?
Yeah, you should probably listen to Matt and I more then.
Should I?
No, don't. No.
All right, Caleb, it's your segment now, sir. It's Caleb's Counter Strike. So who was all hype, no bite in week 13?
So this is their second appearance making this my list. They are fighting for a playoff spot, and they scored, what was it, 6 points, 8 points, something like that. It's the Steelers, man.
Yeah.
What a pitiful performance. I mean, all around, that was horrible. Like I expected a good game in that game. It was not. Like they had, what was it, 166 total yards of offense. That is just not good. My family, if they are watching, they're probably not happy because most of them are Steelers fans. But it was terrible performance. And then they gave up 249 rushing yards. I get it. You're playing James Cook, who probably is top 3 running back in the NFL at this very moment. But what are we doing? Like, I don't know. At this point, I think they're probably right there, maybe even below the Browns' level of play right now. If I'm being completely honest, that's a hot take, but I think the Browns could beat them at this very moment. If I'm being honest, Steelers just don't have that offense. They just don't have the offense.
Yeah, I mean, Caleb, spot on Counter-Strike, because I think we've all pretty much agreed, like, Steelers defense is okay. I don't know if it's like elite. It's had some good battles with certain teams and has shocked some people, but that offense with Aaron Rodgers, DK Metcalf, it does not work. Doesn't help that they don't have that great of a run game. I mean, Jalen Warren's a pretty good running back. He's serviceable, but as a number one, that's kind of tough. And I know that they drafted that Iowa running back, Caleb Johnson. He just hasn't panned out. But, you know, what's crazy is the Steelers kind of were starting to lead the division based off of injuries. And now that, like, Joe Burrow is back, Lamar is back, you know, I think the Steelers are probably going to start balancing out and teetering a little bit. And actually that would help Chiefs, ironically, because I think the Chiefs need the Steelers to kind of wither away from the playoff picture right now in order to overseed them, if I'm not mistaken. So, all right. I don't think we have anything else. So Corey, your crossfire, this kind of segue. Oh, go ahead, Austin.
Now, I do want to say that the Steelers did significantly help their offense today by signing Adam Thielen.
Yeah. Are they going to use him though?
No, he'll be cut by next week.
And then they released Darius Slay.
Wait, hold on. They signed Adam Thielen? I thought he retired.
Claimed off of waivers.
Yeah,
but he said he retired.
After the season. He's retired.
Oh, I was like, he said.
I was like, wait a minute. Yeah, I was confused too. I was like, wait a minute.
Well, him and Aaron Rodgers will do great in retirement together, I guess. I don't know.
So he goes from one shit team to another. All good.
A darkness retreat.
Well, I mean, technically, he went from a non-playoff team to a team in contention. Technically,
non-playoff team to be a non-playoff team.
Yeah.
Poor guy.
Yeah,
it is what it is. All right, guys. Corey, your crossfire, sir. This has a whole division is in your crossfire. Let the people have it.
It's the AFC North. Like, my God, someone win, right? Like the Ravens have a perfect chance, absolute perfect chance on Thanksgiving at home against the Bengals. I get it, Joe Burrow's back, but you absolutely do down your leg. You quit using Derrick Henry after a beautiful touchdown drive to start the game. Then I think he finished 10 carries, if that.
No, perfect.
So, and then you have the Steelers who can't figure out what they're trying to do. Is it Aaron Rodgers? Is it Mason Rudolph? Back to Aaron Rodgers. You're not using the correct people on offense. Your defense is old, and it sucks because TJ Watt's still playing at a very high level. So now I guess he's kind of like Myles Garrett, essentially, you know, as far as like Myles Garrett on the Browns, TJ Watt on the Steelers. So it's kind of just, you know, but my God, like, does anyone want to just win this division? Are you going to really let the Bengals possibly do this? I still say no. But at the end of the day, like, if the Ravens aren't going to show up and they're not going to use Derrick Henry correctly and they're going to let the Bengals win, now you have the Steelers coming in this weekend. That's always a good game, but is it actually going to be a good game this weekend? Like, are they going to end in a tie because no one wants to win? So it's just Harbaugh should be on the hot seat. Tomlin should be on the hot seat. Tomlin's probably out at the end of the season anyways because fans – I have never seen Steeler fans boo a coach. Like, this is a proud franchise. Like, I have friends who are Steeler fans. Caleb, you know all about the Steelers. You have the family who's Steeler fans. They're booing and they're chanting "Fire Tomlin" during a home game. What is this world coming to right now? So at the end of the day, I want to give me someone from the AFC North in the playoffs, please. I want to play them. And it's sad that they're going to take a spot away from a team who's probably deserves to be in the postseason.
Yeah.
Just based on The Ravens are 6-6 and they're in first place in their division, so they're going to make the postseason. None of those teams scare me, not at all. So if it's the Ravens, I'm not scared of the Ravens. If it's the Steelers, I'm damn sure not scared of the Steelers. Give me Aaron Rodgers all day. So that's all I have to say about the Crossfire.
That was gnarly. Yeah, that division just does not want to be won, and I'm shocked. Like the Ravens are just shitting the bed at the wrong time.
They're the new Chargers. Like, which we say Chargers are always chargering.
Mm-hmm.
We've got an extended amount of seasons now where the Ravens are just ravening.
Yeah,
an extended warranty.
Yeah, for real. But like my brother said, Derrick Henry they used Derrick Henry that opening drive. It was beautiful touchdown.
Yep.
And then he only had like 4 carries the rest of the game. You have 5 turnovers as an offense, all with Derrick Henry off the field. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
You're playing what is supposed to be a soft as paper defense. And you're like, you know what, Derrick Henry, sit this one out. We're just going to turn it over all day. I don't understand it at all. And it's sad that I think the Bengals actually have a legitimate shot because their defense is going to get a little better just off of your mindset of having Joe Burrow back. Like just playing in school.
Absolutely. And this is about the same time that the Bengals started making their push last season.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Excuse me.
It is.
Started making their push last season and became 1 game away from a playoff spot. So, I mean,
yeah. No,
it surprised me.
It's an embarrassing division when the Browns are on a graphic of in the hunt still.
Yeah.
Yep.
And not the Raiders. And there's only 1 game difference.
Yep.
Yeah, it's embarrassing. No, the Browns aren't winning the division. I'm not saying that. But the fact your division's so bad that they're on a graphic that are still technically are in the hunt.
Yeah.
It's embarrassing.
I could totally see that the winner of this division is under 500.
Yeah.
Caleb, do you have something?
Yeah, I was going to say, to your point, Austin, the Ravens every one of their turnovers, Derrick Henry was not on the field at all. So, like, what are you doing? You're playing a terrible defense. Like, they're just not very good. The Bengals, like, they're not. Like, they have Trey Hendrickson. Whenever he plays, he's been great, but he's a pass rusher. You know, he's good in the run game too, but he's one guy. Like, I don't know. Just the mindset behind a lot of the North teams, like how they're playing right now is confusing to me.
You're about to see a division full of head coaches get fired.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Literally every single one of those teams.
Well, it's a division that's usually proud defensively. Like, I think their offenses have always been kind of equally this bad.
Absolutely.
But they've always had those stout defenses. Maybe not the Bengals, but Ravens and Steelers, they usually have 10 wins by now just because you're not scoring more than like 14 points a game.
Right.
But now they don't do that.
Yeah, this used to be like a really hard-hitting division, like the Steel Curtain and that Ravens defense was like, you know, we got to play them this season. And now it's like, you know, normally birds poop on your car. Well, someone's pooping on the Ravens cars. And the Steelers, they may as well just change their name to the Pittsburgh Raiders at this point. The Browns are still the Browns, and the Bengals, I mean, they just sneak up on you, but they start slow and end fast. So might as well call them FEMA.
Damn.
Yeah. No, and what's wild though is it just because of how proud the division has always been? Because when we think about it, the NFC South is kind of the same way.
Yeah.
They're a poop shoot.
Yeah, but they all have more wins than the AFC North. Even the Cardinals. Or not the Cardinals, the Panthers, excuse me.
Oh, they're at 7 now, aren't they? So they would still be winning that division.
So Atlanta and the Saints have the same record as the Bengals and the Browns. So Tampa and Carolina have better records than the Ravens or the Steelers right now.
That's wild.
Wild.
Yeah. I think the last time I remember a non-winning divisional winner, I think was like NFC West, the Seahawks. I think they were 7-9. Ironically, though, they were the ones that beat, I think, the New Orleans Saints then.
That was the beast mode run, wasn't
it? That was the year of the beast mode. Yeah. That was the last time I saw a losing team win the division, essentially. And I feel like I don't want to say it out loud, but I feel like the Bengals have the best shot to win the division. I mean,
you called it, Austin. A couple weeks ago, you called it.
He hasn't called shit yet. Don't tell him.
I call a couple things right, but it's serious. So, like, none of those teams have defenses besides the Browns, but they're eliminated from the Browns. So now we're going to look at the offenses. I'm going to take Burrow, Chase, and Higgins and Brown over the other offenses.
It's certainly not who has the best defense because they're not stopping anybody. So
exactly, which is weird. They're all trash.
Yeah.
So give me Burrow and his weapons over the other ones right now until the Ravens actually use Derrick Henry the way he should be. Or
Right.
even Keaton Mitchell. He's a nice backup. He's explosive. Like, what are you trying to do? You're built for power run, and then you come out and spread offense and try to have Lamar throw it 40 times. Like, you don't even make sense.
Yep. We'll see who wants it most this weekend when they both play against each other. Then the Week 17 matchup is the Ravens-Steelers again. But the Ravens go Steelers this week, Bengals next week.
Yeah.
And the Patriots, Packers, and then they end with the Steelers. So,
yeah, these next two games for the Bengals are going to be where their season lies because they have the Bills this week, and then they have, like what you said, Corey, Ravens next week.
And the Bills are good, but the Bills will run the football.
Yeah.
We'll really see, though, if the Bengals can keep it interesting in the division because I feel like if they lose that game to the Bills, then they're not going to win the division. They'll be too far gone. I think it's like 3 games with 5 to go or something like that. So
Bengals have to win out.
They do.
pretty much. Yeah. They put themselves in that pickle, but
Yes.
They do.
Yeah. All right, let's move on to the last segment before we go into League Recon. Matt, the MILF report has returned. Give the people what they want. The MILF report, sir.
No.
Absolutely. So, last week my MILF report was the Cowboys and the Chiefs. We've already touched on that in a pregame, so I won't harp on it too much. Just, it was what we expected.
Harp on somebody else, man. I got to have somebody else get the
Well,
brunt
the
of it
Raiders
besides
just
the Raiders.
suck, so they'll be my – no, just kidding. So I guess we can go ahead and preview this upcoming one. I'm going to go Colts and Jags because now you're surprisingly, we all thought this was going to be a rough game for the Colts with Daniel Jones having that lower leg fracture, but surprisingly, he did really well against the number one defense. They ended up on the wrong side of the scoreboard, but it wasn't a blowout. It was not a blowout by any means. Again, we all thought the Texans were just going to destroy them. But he hung in there. He gritted it out, and now you got the Jags. I think they're leading the division now, right?
They're number one right now.
So they're leading the divisions. The Colts are right behind them. The Texans are right behind them. So that again, this is where someone's going to really start to break away in that division. So who's going to come out on top? But I mean, at this point, you have the Colts traveling to Jacksonville, and hey, we all thought the Chargers were just going to walk all over Jacksonville when they traveled there, and that was not the case. So who knows? Jacksonville may defend home turf, and the Colts may just drop a little bit lower in that seeding. But, that's going to be my matchup to watch is this Colts and Jags.
Man, it is very tight right now in the AFC playoff seeding right now. You have the Jags at the 3 seed. Colts at the 6, and at the 7th final seeding is Buffalo right now, hanging on by a thread.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
That is,
it's tight.
Yeah.
Texans are still in that division.
Texans are in it. So, if either the Jags or the Colts, I would see the Colts losing before Jags. Jags, I think, are getting hot at the right time. I think. Yeah, this is going to be tough because there's a world in where Buffalo doesn't make the wild card. And it could solely be because the AFC South might have 2 or 3 people representing it in the playoffs. There's real possibility for that. So crazy times.
Bills, Chiefs, and Ravens, huh? Just what we all thought.
When is the last time we saw that?
Crazy.
Never.
It's been a minute.
That is crazy. All right. Wild. Well, we appreciate the MILF report, so that is very interesting to look for. You guys, we're going to take a quick break and thank some sponsors real quick, and we'll be back with League Recon. West War Room Rivals is sponsored by Emporia State Federal Credit Union. Learn more at esfcu.com. Text or call the number 620-342-2336 to get started today. ESFCU is the Shovix banking of choice, federally insured by the NCUA. This episode of West War Room Rivals is brought to you by JBW Solutions Industrial Safety Services, your remote safety partner no matter where work takes you. From the job site to the office, JBW Solutions brings OSHA 10 and 30 training, plus a full lineup of compliance services straight to your screen. Whether you're a small crew or a major operation, they make safety simple, accessible, and effective. Visit jbwsolutionsllc.com to learn more today and stay compliant wherever you are. West War Room Rivals is sponsored by Field Ops. Kansas sports fields just got an upgrade with Field Ops. Looking to reserve top quality sports fields in Kansas? Whether you're organizing youth tournaments, adult leagues, or weekend pickup games, Field Ops is your go-to platform for discovering and booking the best athletic fields across the state. Instant online reservations, detailed field info such as locations, amenities, and photos. Field Ops is also trusted by coaches, organizers, and athletes. From Wichita to Overland Park, Field Ops has got you covered with real-time availability and streamlined scheduling. Get in the game at gofieldops.com/Kansas-KS. That's gofieldops.com/Kansas-KS. All right, guys, we are back for the West War Room Rivals podcast. Again, we are recording at the JBW Solutions studio. There's some shenanigans going on with you guys. I don't know what the hell's going on.
Party
We're
hard.
whispering sweet nothings.
It must be. All right, guys, let's transition over to League Recon right now. We got teams in the hot seat, and we're checking in right now. So some coaches on the hot seat. We kind of talked about some of these coaches. So I'm going to give you guys these three names. You tell me whose seat is the hottest. So the coaches that we're talking about is Stefanski with the Browns, Gannon with the Cardinals, and we got Mike Tomlin with the Steelers. So Austin, I'm going to kick it off with you. Which one of those three has the hottest seat?
I still think it's Stefanski, just because I think his seat's been hot for even coming into the season, and they still look like the Browns. So I don't think the seat should be any less warm. I don't know, Tomlin, though, like after this last week, like I'm still going to go Stefanski just because I think his seat's just been hot the longest.
Mm-hmm. Corey, who do you think has the hottest seat?
I still think it might be Gannon, actually. They've gotten progressively worse over seasons, and I know everyone can say Kyler, but Kyler's not a good quarterback either. So, I think at the end of the day, they have pieces. They have Trey McBride. Marvin Harrison will be fine. James Conner, he'll come back next year. Buda Baker on defense. They have some pieces there. They just got to get the right guys in there. So I'm going to go with Gannon for right now.
All right. I do want to point out a comment which made me laugh a little bit, which is who could be Pete's replacement? Yeah, I don't know if I would want any of these three being the replacement. Maybe Tomlin, but that's just because longevity. But I thought this comment is really funny. All right. Caleb, who is the Hackett? No. Caleb, who do you think has the hottest seat?
Yeah, I've thought about this one a little bit. I think it's Stefanski. And I think it's just because, I know that organization just has not been good. But I haven't seen any improvements from what they've have had in the past years that they've had him. I haven't really seen anything change. If anything, I've seen a regression from his first couple years when they made the playoffs. And then, like with Tomlin, I think he is on the hot seat, but this will be his first ever losing season if he has a losing season this year. So I could see some leniency there, but that's a tough one. But Gannon, I agree, is probably on the hot seat too. But Stefanski's my number one.
I do want to add for Stefanski, that was my main reason for picking him, and I forgot to say it. Now that we've seen all 42 quarterbacks play for them this year, I think his negligence of Shedeur Sanders, because let's be honest, he's looked like their best quarterback, and he's kind of just kept him buried. And even after his, the win, they're like, well, we'll see who's starting quarterback. Like, no, dude, that was the best quarterback performance you've had in years.
Yeah. And
you're still going to be weird about it. It's not like you're talking about him coming back and replace Patrick Mahomes. Like, what are we doing? So I just think how he's handled the quarterbacks, and again, not saying Shedeur Sanders is a Hall of Famer, but he was clearly their best quarterback that we've seen, and he handled it poorly. And I think that just goes to show how incompetent he is.
Well, probably goes to show that he didn't want him to begin with, which, is almost more sad. Like, Shador has a lot of talent, more than what the Browns had on their roster, and yet they're taking it for granted and still like, well, we want to roll with Dylan Gabriel. It's like, all right, but Shador's actually giving you a lot more life on the offense than Gabriel has. So very, very good take on that one, Austin. Matt, who do you think has the hottest seat?
Yeah, I got to go Stefanski as well. I mean, even in the offseason, it was very clear that Shador was performing much better than Dylan Gabriel was. And you still put him as your third string quarterback. Now, I'm not saying like Shador is the one that's going to turn this franchise around. And, he started late and teams probably just don't have enough film on him and, as a professional to be able to game plan. I'm not saying that, that's neither here nor there, but it was very clear that Shador was performing better than Dylan Gabriel. You still kept him on the bench for as long as you did. You're wasting Myles Garrett's talent, and that just makes Austin mad because Austin has him as the league MVP, not Defensive Player of the Year, league MVP. So you're just wasting that talent. And there's like this roster for over the years since Stefanski has been head coach, you've had a lot of talent on this roster that's just gone to waste because what have they done? Like, yeah, a couple of playoff appearances here and there, but you had Baker Mayfield, and he was up and down. Now he's actually got a solid foundation in Tampa. You have Myles Garrett, who is arguably the best defensive player in the league that we've seen in our time. And you've had young quarterbacks come through that had potential, and you're just kind of like squandering it. So I think at this point, the Stefanski experiment is done.
Yeah. Caleb, let's see. Caleb, you got an answer in. Corey, who's the hottest seat right now?
Well, I picked Gannon, but I will say fire Stefanski, trade Jerry Jeudy's ass because he's obviously a problem, and I don't know. I saw the clip of him and Shador trying to get like Jerry Jeudy's done nothing in this league to be able to talk to his quarterback that way whatsoever.
Even if it's a rookie quarterback.
Even if it is a rookie quarterback.
Right.
Totally. Jerry Jeudy's a bust. I didn't like him in Denver. I don't like him at all. And I do think Shador is the answer there. So they need to get the right offensive mind in there or get the defensive mind in there to coach that defense and make sure that you get that coordinator right. I would love Robert Saleh in Cleveland.
That'd be nice.
Give me Robert Saleh and then Mike McDaniel as the OC. Kind of love in there. I mean, it's Cleveland, so they're not obviously going to do that, but
they don't make right choices.
They don't make the right choices. But I'm saying
hack it.
That would be a Browns move, right?
Yeah.
Like that would what the Browns would do, and that's why they are the Browns. But yeah, I saw that video from Jerry Jeudy, and I'm like, that's complete opposite of what you need to do to your rookie quarterback. That shows me all I need to know about Jerry Jeudy
and the
head coach.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, I think for me, so out of these three, I do want to kind of go on a little bit of a side tangent. I do get surprised that Mike Tomlin is always on like the hot seat. And I'm going to give it in the perspective as the Raiders who are cycling through head coaches. We have gone through like 12 head coaches since Tomlin has been the head coach in Pittsburgh. You know what I'd give for just a head coach to stay on the Raiders, to give us at least a shot to get in the playoffs or to be even with the division every year? Like,
dude, they've had more head coaches in the last 3 years. Tomlin's Steelers' third head coach ever.
Yes. Which again, like that was again like a great example of why, like even with Pete Carroll, like, okay, instead of going one and done, let's see if this is an extra couple of years, at least get something grown here, like some foundational pieces in here. But like, I always kind of get a little like with the Steelers of, hey, you have a head coach that's actually keeping you guys competitive every single year. Granted, it's not to the Super Bowl, but you guys are like at least getting to the dance. Is that not enough for you? And I get it. Like, we want to go over, but he also did help you guys win a Super Bowl. Like,
and how long ago was that Super Bowl?
Some teams want more than just maybe making the dance every now and again.
That's fine. But like, again, how many teams in general, and not even going to include the Raiders, how many teams in general have gone through coaches and they're still not in the playoff hunt? There's still nothing to show for it. But the Steelers have stuck with the same guy for 19 seasons. And again, I think it's a huge badge of honor to say he hasn't had a losing season in his 19 years. I do think that like kind of shows like, hey, he is a good coach. Like people are playing for him. Like seasons sometimes seem lost, and yet they seem to be like right there to at least be in the hunt of something. Whereas like, again, my Raiders, fourth head coach in 3 years, and we're 2 wins this season. I'd give anything for a coach like Tomlin who at least get these guys to keep playing. So I think that's just always strange that Mike Tomlin gets all this hate. And it's like, gosh, you guys, he's still like giving you guys competitive seasons. It's not like he's a bum, you know, like I feel like Harbaugh on the Ravens deserves more flack than Tomlin, in my opinion, you know. And again, the two coaches that have been in the same organization for several years, I think that's just my perspective on it. But in my opinion, it's Gannon who has the hottest seat, because when he got on, he had Kyler Murray. You know, they had drafted Marvin Harrison Jr., and he was a defensive guy. So coming in, he was supposed to really, you know, bolster up that defense. Didn't really do so much. That defense has been okay. And again, that Cardinals offense has been subpar at best. And Brianna, our friend from Brianna Sports, I know that she's a Cardinals fan, and she's always made it known that she doesn't believe in Kyler Murray anymore. And former number 1 overall pick, I think there's a real discussion on if he's even going to be on the team, or if the Cardinals are going to hit the reset button and see what they can do with getting some assets for him or any other players that maybe can help them grow. So I think Gannon's seat is the hottest. I think Stefanski is probably going to step away. I think he's just done with the Browns organization, and rather than be fired, it's going to be mutually parted ways. But I think Gannon's got to get let go on Black Monday, in my opinion. So
Raiders getting Kyler Murray, boys.
I just love that we haven't.
Kyler Murray and Jerry Jeudy.
Oh God.
Hell yeah.
That'll sell tickets, that's for sure.
That sounds like the Browns to me.
The Cleveland Raiders? Yeah. It's about right. Kyler won't be back in the Cardinals. Mama Shovik in the comments. Thank you so much for that.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on to updated playoff picture. So I don't have a graphic. I'm so sorry, guys. I'm very unprepared for this. But I do want to just point out that in the playoff picture, and I'm going to point this out, we're going to start in the AFC. In the AFC, obviously, it's the Broncos with the 1 seed, if I'm not mistaken.
Nope, Patriots.
No, it's Patriots.
Okay, so whoever has the updated one, go ahead and give it up.
Well, it was the Broncos with Patriots won last night, so they played one more game. So they have it right now. So, but they're still kind of back and forth.
Okay.
No, I can pull it up real quick. Hang on.
All right. This is a very well-produced show. Just want to point out. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you're watching, please subscribe.
I can tell you it's not the Chiefs and the Raiders.
Oh, yeah.
That's almost upsetting, to be honest.
Tell me about it.
I will tell you this, though. My mom is super ecstatic that the Patriots are the number 1 seed, and she wants us to start putting more respect on the Patriots' name.
Bro, I've been on the...
Tell Caleb. He said that they were a bust.
I did. It's your fault, Caleb.
All right. I think I have it here.
Sorry,
so...
Mama Williams.
Oh, I was going to say I got it.
Okay, go ahead, Matt. Go ahead.
All right. So as of right now, the Patriots are 1, Broncos 2, Jags are 3, the Ravens are 4, Chargers 5, the Colts are 6, and the Bills are 7.
So if the playoffs were to start today, Broncos would be facing the Bills, Colts and Jags would be facing off with one another, and the Chargers would be heading to Baltimore to play the Ravens. So how are we feeling about this AFC picture right now?
So dumb.
I like my spot. That's all I got to say.
Yeah, I think if you're a Chargers fan, you would hope.
Yes.
But then at the end of the day, if you're a Ravens fan, you're like, hell yeah, give us the Chargers.
Yeah,
Also,
well, definitely.
So it's just like, I don't know. I mean, you still have to keep a close eye. Like, I don't know. I think the most surprising one right now would still probably be Jacksonville in the lead. But again, the South is starting to get kind of frisky. And we're really liking what we're seeing from the AFC South. Unfortunately, it's probably obviously the better division than what the West is right now.
Yep.
But they're more like it's most comparable outside because you obviously have the Titans and the Raiders, so they kind of balance it out. So I don't know, man. I'm still not sold on the Chiefs missing the playoffs this year. Still that you'll know what you need to know this weekend.
So
Yeah.
that kind of segmented to a question I was going to ask. What's a team you think can sneak in? So Corey, you're under the assumption that the Chiefs can still sneak in
unless they show me otherwise this weekend, because I think the Chiefs have one loss. Like that's all. The Chiefs can only lose one more game.
They have to win out and may not make it still.
Yeah, I mean, I'm still not sold that it's going to be the Chiefs missing. But at the end of the day, they got a huge, like, this is a monster matchup this weekend for the Chiefs.
Well, I agree, and that takes me right into my pick. I think the Texans would get in.
Yeah,
that's me. I'm not sold if it's Buffalo or the Colts that are going to get bounced. I don't know which one, but because I think the Texans end up winning the division. I think the Jags remain good enough for a wild card. I'm still not sold on the Colts, but they have a couple game cushion, I think, for some of these other ones. But Texans are the team that they're going to get in, and I just don't know who they are going to be replacing.
Yeah, I'm kind of the same with Austin. I think losing to the Cowboys on Thanksgiving, that was it, because now their destiny is no longer in their control. Even if they win out, you need Buffalo to drop the rest of their games. You need Indy to drop the rest of their games. You need Jacksonville to drop the rest of their games. And all that's got to happen. And I don't see that happening at all. I mean, yeah, sure, maybe one team might lose out the rest of the season, but you still got 2 or 3 other teams that you need to lose out if you even want to get into that number 7 spot. But the Texans, I think they're just going to sneak in. Like Austin said, whether they bounce the Colts or the Bills, that one's anyone's game. But I just don't. I think that was the nail in the Chiefs' coffin there on Thanksgiving.
I think the only saving grace is this whole division still plays each other like twice. The AFC South, that is. So there could be some.
Just 2 more games for that's it. They have 2 more games, Colts and Jags. That's it.
Texans don't play either of them again?
No.
Yeah, well, then I hope the Jags sweep the Colts, because I think that's the most likely one that could get bounced, and then somehow Texans. Yeah. No, it's rough either way for the Chiefs.
I mean, the Colts have to lose the rest of their games to catapult up to Buffalo, for Buffalo to go to 6. Baltimore has to lose because they only have 6 wins right now.
Well, so I guess you could look at that last game of the season. Do you have the schedule up, Cody? Because that last game of the season for the Colts is the Texans. So I was wrong.
I mean, and that could be, and depending on how that division goes too, like, not saying that's for the division, but that could be for a wild card spot. Like,
yeah, absolutely.
It's a win and get in kind of a thing, I would assume. Let's see. Let's go to week 18.
But the Colts do have the Seahawks and the Niners, Jaguars, Texans to finish.
They could lose out.
Yeah. That is a real possibility, especially with the rest of their division getting better. They're getting injured. They're kind of showing who they are now at the wrong time. Yeah. I think the Colts are probably the ones looking out. But, yeah, I mean, I'm kind of the same, though, with Corey about until I see the Chiefs mathematically eliminated, you can't count them out. Yeah. I mean, who knows? This could be the strangest season where, one, they had a slow start. They're now playing catch up. And then all of a sudden they get hot, sneak into the wild card, and then go from there. Because it might happen. Now, if they lose, who do you guys play Sunday, Austin?
The Texans.
Oh.
Texans.
It's at home, and the Chiefs are 5-1 at home. They're 1-5 on the road, which
but those are 1-score games, right?
Yeah, and that kind of caught me off guard. I knew they weren't very good on the road, but I didn't realize they were 1-5 on the road. So they're 3.5-point favorites right now at home. The over under on that's 41.5. My goodness, I would take the under on that one, but
it's going to be a low scoring game, boys.
Yeah, that's kind of my thoughts. Yeah. But yeah, no, Chiefs aren't mathematically out of this, so I'm not willing to sit here and say that they're completely out of it, especially when we look what they have. They have the Texans, Chargers, Titans, Broncos, Raiders.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe they could get 3 wins right there. 3 out of 4. I'm not sure, because I'm not completely sold that Christmas night game against Denver won't be, maybe, it's going to be a huge game, but then you have Broncos there. So I'm not completely sold on that. So the Chiefs are favored their next 2 games, and they're both at home. So that's what's good going for them.
Yeah. Needless to say, they cannot afford to drop a single game. They got to go. They got to win out. So
get your old tonsils tickled.
Big Red getting uncut is funny.
Love it.
All right, guys, let's move on to the NFC right now. So I have the seeding pulled up. So bit surprising, the Chicago Bears. I don't know if anyone picked them preseason to be the number 1 seed in the NFC.
You didn't pick them to be the 1 seed.
I said 13 wins,
But you didn't say 1 seed. There's no evidence out there that you said 1 seed.
All right, so
He
and
thought
then
it. He just didn't say it.
yeah, the 2 seed is the LA Rams, and 3 seed would be the Philadelphia Eagles. 4th seed Buccaneers as of right now. Again, if the playoffs started today. Then you have the 5th seed being Seattle, 6th seed Green Bay, 7th seed Niners, which means that the wild card matchup would be Rams against the 49ers. That would be really great to see. Then the next matchup would be Green Bay versus Eagles, and then Seahawks versus the Buccaneers. So with that, Caleb, do you see anyone in the NFC sneaking in, or do you think this picture is going to hold pretty true to form?
I think the Cowboys sneak in.
Oh,
I do. I think they're clicking right now, and I'm a big Cowboy hater. So for me to say this
doesn't sound like it right now, dude.
No, it's a lot, but like they play us in a couple weeks, and I'm actually pretty worried about it. They've got offense now, and Quentin Williams has changed their defense. I've never seen a single player change their defense that drastically in a 2-week span. It's pretty wild. But I think they can sneak in. That's probably who I would say. Yeah.
All right, Matt, do you see anyone in the NFC sneaking into the any of the top 7 seeds?
I think it's going to come between the Cowboys and the Panthers. Both of them are really getting hot at the right time. So it's gonna come down to those two.
Austin?
Yeah, I think the 3 wildcard teams stay those 3 wildcard teams.
Mm-hmm.
I think some division leaders might change. I mean, Niners are still right on the Rams. Packers are still right on the Bears. Seattle's still in the mix too. But I think the only thing that's going to change is whoever wins the South.
Yep.
Other than that, I don't think any other teams sneak in. I think Cowboys had too much of a hole. Because you got to think Niners, Packers, and Seahawks, those are 3 really good teams. And barring something wild, I just don't know if they're going to slip up enough for the Cowboys to catch up. Now, the Cowboys could catch the Eagles, which is going to be a whole different conversation.
That would be very interesting.
So now I did say that a couple weeks ago, just so that's out there too. But I like the wild cards. I think those 3 wild card teams are all worthy of winning their own division as well.
Mm-hmm.
So outside of who wins divisions, I don't think the teams change.
I do want to point out this is the Cowboys schedule for the next 5 games. So this is the rest of the season. So they're going to be in Detroit on Thursday Night Football. Then they're going to be home on a Sunday Night Football game against the Vikings. I think that's a gimme right there. Then they're at home against the Chargers. That's going to be an interesting matchup. Then they have a divisional game in Washington against the Commanders. That's going to be on Netflix on Christmas Day. And then to end the season, they are going to New York to play the Giants. It's their last 5 games. They are currently the 9th seed. Let me pull that up if I'm not mistaken. They are the 9th. Oh no, yeah, they are the 9th seed because Detroit is actually the 8th seed right now.
Yep.
And so essentially, whoever wins that game gets to catapult one another. And again, if the Cowboys are going to take either the division or get a wild card, they need to win Thursday Night Football. In fact, Detroit also needs a win just to keep their playoff hopes alive because right now, playoffs start today. They don't make a wild card. And that's interesting considering last season they were a lot of Super Bowl picks in the NFC. So the fact that they go from being in a divisional game to not even making a wild card in one turnaround, that's a rough pill to swallow as well. So to give that little nugget, Corey, do you see any NFC teams sneaking in, or do you think it's going to stay the same?
I've been on the Cowboys bandwagon for a couple weeks, 3 weeks now. So I do. It has to start Thursday night. If they don't win Thursday night, then that road becomes a little tougher for the Cowboys. The Lions have a brutal. That Cowboys-Rams is kind of a big stretch for them. You know, and in the season with Chicago, I'm not sold on Chicago finishing as the 1 seed. They they have kind of a rough stretch themselves coming up. They have to play the Packers twice in 3 weeks. So you go Packers, Browns, Packers, 49ers, and then end with the Lions. So you got to split with the Packers at least. And, I would say 11 to 12 win. I still don't see that being enough for the one seed for that. So I do think that'll change.
Who are the Cowboys bouncing, do you think?
I'm not sold on the Lions right now, man.
They're not in.
Yeah, they wouldn't be in.
They're 8.
So essentially the team that they would have to bounce would either be the Seahawks, the Packers, or the Niners.
Oh,
Those are
Or win the division.
I was looking at the wrong thing. Yeah, I'm not sure.
I agree. I think the Cowboys are clicking. I think they just had a little too big of a hole to climb out of.
Yeah, that does change everything. Philadelphia is going to choke this way.
Woo-hoo, he's on my board now.
So okay, because right now they get in with the division. So you don't think that they win the division? Do you think they're out of the playoffs in general?
Who, the Eagles?
Yeah.
Let's save that question for a different time. Let's see how this plays out.
Yeah, let's see if the Cowboys win first.
Yeah, and then,
let's see what Thursday does for us.
Yeah. And I'm gonna incorporate the playoff picture in our rundown each week.
Yep.
Because we're getting to that time now where especially the Broncos and Chargers.
Sorry, Cody, we're left out.
Yeah, you guys are left out. So some of us have some playoff pictures.
I've been left out. I've been out since like week 8.
Some of us are scoreboard watching. So no, I'm gonna have to put more thought into the NFC. I think the NFC is gonna be kind of fun. Yeah, honestly.
Yeah. Those top 7 teams are insane.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give you the guys probably the best division in football right now. And again, our show is West War Room Rivals, so it is a division in the West, the NFC West. So yes. Arizona has 3 wins, 9 losses, and then the following 3 teams each have 9 wins, being the Niners, the Seahawks, and the Rams. Literally a half game splits all 3 of them. Yeah. And all 3 of them right now are in the wild card or in some position of the playoff seeding. So this is probably the best division in all of football this season.
It's not even close.
The North, it's not even close.
The North, maybe.
But which North? They are the NFC North?
Not AFC.
I'm sure not the AFC North.
Because I do think the Bears and Packers, the Lions as the 3rd team is what hurts a little bit.
Right.
They're still not like an easy team. So I do think that's why that's your only argument. But I still think it's the NFC West is unheard of.
They are playing ridiculously well. Every team literally is probably going to have 10 wins at the end of the season. And unless something catastrophic happens, all 3 of them are still going to get in the playoffs because they're the top 3 records in terms of win-loss, I think. They're in the top 4. So
yeah, if you could look beyond quarterbacks, those 3 teams all have MVP candidates with Jackson Smith, Najigba, Stafford, and then Christian McCaffrey is like a top 8 receiver right now.
Yep.
If we had a category of non-quarterbacks, it'd be like Christian McCaffrey. We'd probably I think Jonathan Taylor's kind of tailed off a little bit, but Christian McCaffrey's definitely would be in that conversation for sure.
Yeah, I don't think enough people are talking about Smith Najigba either, though.
Yeah, no, he's
their one receiver, and somehow him and Darnold just cannot be stopped.
And that's after they dealt DK Metcalf. Yep. So he's the legit one just tearing it up.
Yeah, that division's it's gross.
It's almost heartbreaking that our AFC West is not on the same level as that. So
thanks, Raiders.
Sorry, Chiefs let everyone down.
The Raiders let everybody down. Are you kidding me? We're such normal. Laughing. All right, Corey, I'm gonna need your help with this one. We have in here our AFC West players of the week. So each host is going to give their game ball to whatever AFC West player from this weekend. Corey, kick us off. Who is your player of the week?
I give it to Bo. I think.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, bro. I was gonna rock the jersey tonight, but I'm gonna say
such a homer.
I'm gonna say just pick your own from your team, bro. That's the whole point.
I don't have anyone.
Yeah, you do. Max Crosby. You can say what
from
you
shoving Justin Herbert.
I love that.
Yeah, he yelled in his ear. It was self-defense.
If you're gonna pick a dude to do that to, don't pick Max Crosby.
Right?
Like that. Anyway.
Sorry, Corey. The floor is yours.
Yeah, bro, it's Bo. I mean, he played a damn good game.
All right, Matt.
I too am going with Bo. I mean, again, overtime, beautiful drive, calm, poised. Again, to him, it was like the score was 0-0, and it was still like the start of the game. So I got to go with Bo on this one. Bo's going to get my game ball as well.
All right, Austin.
I feel weird for giving a game ball to a losing team. I was actually going to pick Evan Ingram. I thought it was a nice
That's
breakout
fine. You can
game,
go with Evan Ingram. Let's make this a Broncos show, bros.
No, I'll go Patrick Mahomes. Chiefs didn't lose because of Mahomes. Dude still had 4 tatties. He still tried his damnedest. Chiefs have a lot more issues than the offense right now. Won't dive into it, but 15's doing 15 things. It's just not resulting in wins. So this week, game ball, Patty.
Loser.
Well, then it's going to be really silly when I give it to Brock Bowers, the Raiders, because he had 2 touchdowns, one crazy one-hander.
Catch of the year.
Yeah.
Look good on my fantasy team, so I'm not too worried about it.
Yeah, it did me well, too. So anyway, so that would be my game ball would go Brock Bowers. He deserves so much better than what we have. So, and then also honorable mention to Max Crosby for shoving Justin Herbert. I'm also, too, Caleb, do you find it silly that some of your Charger combatants are like, being all woe is me about Max Crosby shoving Justin Herbert? I've seen a lot of like, oh, what an idiot. I'm like,
dude, it's a game.
Dirty player.
This is a physical.
Yeah, I saw people call him a clown. And I was like, Max Crosby? Are you kidding?
No, stop it. He is a clown, but
he's a damn good clown.
He's a damn good clown.
Right. I just thought it was funny. People are like, that one shove like set the Chargers world ablaze. It's like,
there's
wow,
30
guys,
that would love Max Crosby. Don't let fan bases tell
Chargers
you
being one of them.
Specific.
Oh, we would love. Oh yeah, I'm not even denying that. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh, I don't hate him anymore. He's a good player.
You can shove Justin Herbert all you want now.
Right.
All right, guys. So that is it. That was our AFC West Player of the Week. Each of us gave a game ball. What's up?
Caleb has to give a game ball, bro.
Oh, I'm sorry, dude. Go ahead.
He
Caleb.
just wanted to forget.
He was like,
All right, calm down, Max. You don't have to listen to Caleb.
I got to get my broom back out.
Get the broom.
But no, so I got to give my game ball to Hank Aaron's nephew, Kamani Vidal.
Yes.
Man, the way he played and has stepped up with Amari Hampton out. Matter of fact, he's the first running back in since 2018 for the Chargers to have 3+ rushing 100-yard rushing games. So he's stepped up huge, and I think he's solidified himself as the running back too, going to the future. So he's got to get my game ball this week. He rushed for 126 yards and a touchdown. So he's got my game ball.
I'm surprised you didn't give it to your guys's. Who was your linebacker that had like 2.5 sacks on us? What was his name?
Tui Pelotu. He was a baller too. He was my 1-2. Those were my 2 guys, man.
I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. If I didn't pick Brock Bowers, I would probably picked him as my AFC West defense player of the week, because he, even though it was against the Raiders, he was killer on the field. Matt.
I am going to give an honorable mention. I know some of you may have seen Austin and I go back and forth on X, but I will give him his flowers because he had 0 DPIs on him. Mr. Riley Moss will get an honorable mention.
He only got beat once. You can't. That one-handed catch for a touchdown is just insane.
He got beat twice.
That was crazy.
That pass to Debo, I don't know what he was doing. That hesitation, don't know what happened there. But yes, the trailer, the one-handed catch.
Don't
Riley
get
couldn't do
yourself in a
anything.
crash out, Matt. Don't get yourself. Don't get yourself.
I'm good. The hat's hiding the enemy vein.
I did almost have a Cody crash out because the stat I saw was Myles Garrett has like 15 sacks in the last 4 weeks.
Here we go.
Chiefs defensive line on the year has 15 sacks. Their defensive line, like as a whole, has less sacks than Myles Garrett in the last like 5 weeks. Anyway, go ahead.
I don't even want to look at what the Raiders sack total is for the season compared to Myles Garrett. It's like basement dwelling, I think.
They have 1 sack and it's Max Crosby.
Well, Max had 2. That was all that they had. Max had them all. So
Yes.
All right, guys. Thank you guys so much for tuning in again. Subscribe to the YouTube channel as you guys are watching us on West War Room Rivals. All right, Corey, we have a special guest tomorrow. Tell the people who we have.
Well, it's Maddie's. So let's double pass this off over to Matt.
All right. Yeah. So tomorrow we're going to have special guests from Mile High Sports and Broncos insider Cody Rourke. He's going to give us a moment of his time, kind of preview the upcoming matchup between the Broncos and the Raiders and his take on the AFC West. So make sure you guys tune in tomorrow, 5:30 p.m. Pacific time. It's going to be fun.
Really good get. And then I know that we have some more announcements later on. We'll give you guys those next week. But do we have anything else, guys, before we go home?
No, thanks
sir.
for tuning in.
Everyone tuning in. Yeah, man.
Yeah.
We had a lot. We had a lot to talk about. Thank you for everybody that's watching. Really, you guys are the real MVPs for tuning in and supporting us. So that kind of leads me into the last stretch of the show here. So we have some partners that we want to thank, and we hope that you guys support them because they support us. First one would be Beard Club. If you guys are watching Austin's Luscious Beard, that's courtesy of Beard Club. Go pick yours up. There's a link in the bio right now where you can get a special discount code and all that stuff down there. Also, Shank It Golf. If you guys are in the golf and you guys want some swag that kind of shows your personality, go to Shank It Golf. Badger Barrel, shout out to them. They sent everyone a smoker. I actually used mine last night. Corey smoked Thanksgiving on his Badger Barrel, Matt did, excuse me. So appreciate Badger Barrel. Matt, hit him with the slogan.
In a world of butterflies, be a badger.
He also dances if you ask for him too, folks.
I will.
And then also shout out to Homage, Matt or Austin over there wearing a Homage gear right now. You guys can visit the link down below as well to pick up Homage gear. They have their Christmas collection out right now, which is fire because it is around the Star Wars theme. So that's also pretty cool. And then also to the ones that actually help fund the War Room. So first one is Field Ops, Troy and his crew in the greater Kansas area. If you guys are looking to get any league or field markings set up, please reach out to Troy and the crew. Contact info is down below. Also, Emporia State Federal Credit Union, Angie and the team, they are the War Room banking of choice. They have been partners with the Shovic for decades, literally. And so Angie and the team, they were the first ones that were willing to take a chance on us. And so we thank them a ton. Please go visit them and become partners with them as well. And then finally, as everyone has, except for me, I have my merch hat on. But JBW Solutions, again, we are recording out of the JBW Solutions studio. Jeff and the team, thank you guys so much for your love and support. We really appreciate it. Again, you guys go visit jbwsolutionsllc.com today to get safety compliant on all things OSHA or safety regulations for your business. They are also now in the long haul truck driving industry. So if you guys need to get safety compliant in that, please again visit jbwsolutionsllc.com. Guys, I think that's it for this evening. We will see you guys tomorrow for Cody Rourke. See you guys later.